We stand here to honor this great American soldier, this screaming eagle, who willingly risked his safety to serve his country and his fellow soldiers. He answered the call of his country asked, "Whom shall we send, and who will go for us?" Without hesitation, he answered, "Here I am, send me." We know greater love has no one than this, that one lay down his life for his friends. Lord, comfort Red's family and his friends. And let us always be mindful of the gallant and noble service of this man. Lord, help us to remember and help us to honor his sacrifice for our freedom, through our devotion to duty and our service to one another. Lord, now protect all those who follow the footsteps of Red Falvey. May his soul rest in everlasting peace. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Director of the U.S. Army Heritage and Education Center, Colonel Matthew Q. Dawson.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's ceremony honoring Staff Sergeant Richard Red Falvey. Thank you for taking the time to remember and honor a member of the Band of Brothers and a true American hero. Clearly, Staff Sergeant Falvey was a great representative of the 506 Parachute Infantry Regiment, but he was much more. He was an example of and for America. Mr. Falvey and his teammates lived remarkable lives, emerging from the Great Depression to fight a global war. And they did not return home and rest on their laurels. They went to work making America a global power with an incredible standard of living. We owe them more than we can ever repay, and more than most realize. Each of us in our own way will remember Staff Sergeant Falvey, what he did, and what he stood for. Many will remember him for what he represented, the Band of Brothers and a generation of men and women who quite literally helped save the world from tyranny and evil. While I can only guess what family and friends will recall, I offer that we should also remember a man who can easily serve as a model for all Americans to emulate. I count myself fortunate to have made his acquaintance and will remember him as a man with a glint in his eye and steel in his handshake, who was determined to honor his teammates and their accomplishments. The image of him that I choose to recall is from a picture. He's on the ground after his final jump, standing tall with a smile on his face, still ready to face any challenge without hesitation. He was faced his final challenge the way he lived his life, and we cannot do less. Whether you are learning of his great American life from today's proceedings, or if you've known him since birth, you have a mission. That mission is to ensure Staff Sergeant Red Falvey's story and the story of his teammates remain part of our history and heritage. Each of us must answer the call to honor the service of the greatest generation by learning all we can and passing that on to our children. Each World War II veteran and all veterans are part of the American tapestry, and it is our sacred and honorable calling to preserve their piece of the overall fabric, ensuring their service is not forgotten. They did nothing less than save the world. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Assistant Commander of the 506 Parachute Infantry Regiment, Living History Interpreter, First Lieutenant Greg Hennessy, will now say a few words about Red.
First off, I want to say thanks to all who have come to honor a great friend, our reenactor group, and all our reenactors, Red Falvey. First and foremost, we're here at AHEC today to celebrate Red, specifically due to Red's feelings about this place. What he learned about AHEC is this is about the soldier story, not about the generals, maybe some, but the individual stories. He felt this was his place. He never missed an opportunity to come here. He was called and asked to be here. He was here. He believed in this place. And as you can see, as you go through each section of it, he loved to take a walk around and see all the reenactors and all the things from each generation of wars, from World War I, World War II, Korea, French and Indian. This was a place he believed in because it tells the story of the individual soldier. And it was something that he strongly believed in. And it was just a wonderful place, and that's why he loved it, and that's why our group loves it. And he's like, there are guys who love it as well. For me to say a few words about Red, I'm going to have to be brief, because he was such a friend of mine. About 8 years ago, I was looking for vets to go to the Air Force Academy, and I was interviewing because I was assigned that task. And so I was calling around, and I wanted to know, sometimes you talk to 80-year-old men, and you don't have the best experience with it because you are getting up in age, and you don't know what stories you're going to get. And I talked to Red on the phone, and he was such a great personality. And I'm sure that's something that any of you knew Red, drawn to him because he was such a great individual, such a happy person, somebody that you wanted to know personally. And he was somebody you wanted to say, hey, I know Red Falvey because he was such a great guy. And you just see so many people. It was funny yesterday when we put the photograph up that we were given, the large poster, and the gentleman was just walking through, oh, I remember him with Red Falvey. I met him this spring. He was so great. And it was always so great to be around Red. It just absolutely was. He was always smiling. He always looked for the best in any situation. He was always so positive. And his motto was never give up. That's what he would tell you. And if he ever signed a book for you, that's what he would write. Never give up. Never miss an opportunity to say that. I was initially drawn to his service to his country. But what I found was a great man, and a great friend. Many things can be said about Red. Say he's a war hero, he was a patriot. But I think most of all, for his kids, Kurt, Sandy, and Rich, I think the proudest thing they can say about him, or to say was his dad. And I know for me, the proudest thing I can say was he was my friend. His departure leaves a hole, not just in the hobby of reenacting, missing events, but more importantly, he leaves a hole in mankind because of the kindness, the kind of person he was. So, my challenge to all of you is to be a little more like Red, and I think we can fill the hole. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Staff Sergeant Robert Poindexter will now present a short poem in Red's honor. I went to visit Red in Hampshire, New York, like 3 weeks or so before he passed away. And Red handed me this poem, and he asked me to read that, and he passed. This is the biggest honors of my life is to do this, as much as it's very bittersweet. It goes like this. When I come to the end of the day, and the sun is set for me, I want no rights in a gloom-filled room. Why cry for a soul set free? Miss me a little, but not too long, and not with your head bowed low. Remember the love we once shared. Miss me, but let me go. For this is a journey we all must take, and each must go alone. It's all part of the Maker's plan, a step on the road to home. When you are lonely and sick at heart, go to the friends we know and bury your sorrows in doing good deeds. Miss me, but let me go. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, representing the Falvey family, please welcome Red's son, Richard Falvey.
First of all, I would like to thank all of you coming to this memorial service. And I want to also thank the Army Heritage Center for sponsoring it. My family, my sister, my brother, we want to thank you for all of the kind words, the letters, the cards. It was overwhelming. You know, many of you have said how much my dad meant to you. But I think you need to know how much you meant to him. He was with the reenactment group over here probably about 8 years. And he'd come home from one of his reenactment weekends, and as he would say, he was worked up like an 8 o'clock. And he started telling me about who he saw, who he talked to. He said, "This is where I found my America." He was concerned about the direction our country was taking in the last few years. And he would say, this is my America. I think most of it had to do with the kids. He loved the kids, and the kids loved him. I have a dog. I was going to tell the story, but if anybody wants to know it, I can tell you later. But this is my dog, or his dog, Ami, A-M-I. My mom named him. He showed up on a cold winter, snowy morning. We could not find anybody who would claim him. Red claimed him. Ami was named by my mom. Ami means friend in French. He lost my mom a month or so after the dog showed up, and his best friend, Otto Sykes, passed away. He was number 2 out of the plane on D-Day. He lost him just before Ami showed up. So Ami was truly his friend. If you've heard my dad give speeches or talks, he always ended it by saying, I was kissed by an angel, I dared to be a Daniel, and I had a rendezvous with destiny. Most of you probably understand what that all meant. I'm going to quickly go through it. When he was a little boy, he had a birthmark on his cheek. And he'd come home from school crying because all the kids made fun of his birthmark. And my grandmother, his mother, would take him in her arms and say, you tell those boys that you were kissed by an angel. Now, I always thought that was kind of corny in all those speeches. But the more I reflect on my dad's life, I truly believe this man was kissed by an angel. The other story, as it goes, was when he and his buddies were supposedly getting ready to go down to the local soda shop. His mother would get my dad and his friends and recite the words of an old hymn. Back in the 1800s. And she tells these boys, my dad, dare to be a Daniel, dare to stand alone, dare to have a purpose firm, and dare to make it known. I still wonder, I think they were on their way to the local coal hall. I don't think it was a soda shop. The last words, the rendezvous with destiny, comes from General William Lee, the father of the 101st Airborne. And he said, the 101st has no history, but it has a rendezvous with destiny. So a couple of weeks ago, we had a service up on the hill in Hammondsport. My brother engraved those three lines on a stone. It's really a boulder. It's probably 5,000 pounds. Those words are engraved on a boulder in a field on a farm in Hammondsport. And it says, he was kissed by an angel, he dared to be a Daniel, and he had his rendezvous with destiny. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, First Sergeant Mike Clark from the 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment will now call the roll.
Detail, attention, hoot! Staff Sergeant Bixler. Here, Master Sergeant. Staff Sergeant Troutman. Here, Master Sergeant. Corporal Davio. Here, Master Sergeant. PFC Hunter Mark. Here, Master Sergeant. Staff Sergeant Falvey. Staff Sergeant Richard Falvey. Staff Sergeant Richard Red Falvey.
Minkovitz will now present the flag to Mr. Richard Falvey, representing the family. With the thanks of the proud, grateful nation, and on behalf of the President of the United States, may I present this flag as a token of appreciation for the honorable and faithful service who loved us as rendered this nation. Ladies and gentlemen, our program concludes with the hymn by one of Mr. Falvey's closest friends, Henry Orchestra.
Call him Jesus. He came to love. He ran for you. He died to buy my pardon. A newborn baby, and feel the pride and joy we bring. But greater still is the calm assurance this child can face uncertain days because he lives. Because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude, I'd like a special thank you to the Ranger Parachute Team.